Raheem Sterling is open to joining Chelsea Football Club this summer. There is interest from the likes of Barcelona and Real Madrid, but the opportunity of joining Chelsea Football Club is one that Raheem Sterling and his representation are exploring. Of course, Chelsea Football Club are looking to really re-bolster their attack after failing to score enough goals in the past 18 months to 2 years. Yes, they've won trophies, including the Champions League. Yes, they've reached the final of nearly every single cup competition that Thomas Tuchel has entered. But the lack of goals in some of those finals, and of course, in what they desire most, another title charge. 5 seasons now without a Premier League title. That needs to be rectified by the Bowley Group and Chelsea Football Club. Raheem Sterling on the agenda. We're also going to take a look at Gabriel Jesus as well, who is another player that is a deal that Chelsea are looking into. The deal is on. He has been offered to the football club. Arsenal are still leading the race for it. But a lot to delve into and a bit of a recap on the midfield situation at Chelsea. Jules Koundé update for you as well. Hit the like and the share button. Let's go. Welcome back to the Terrace. Chelsea Football Club are gearing up for a very, very busy summer transfer window. None of their deals, barring Jules Koundé, which we'll touch on, are overly advanced right now. 11th of June, 2022, are not really advanced. They've got some issues in terms of certain players have got to get out of the football club, and of course, a number of other concerns that they didn't expect to maybe have a year ago. The sort of exodus of defenders, the age of Thiago Silva, means there is a huge amount of importance to bringing in centre-backs. The deal for Jules Koundé is all but done. Details are being finalised. Expect, somewhere in the sort of week to next 10 days for there to be an announcement around it. Everybody in football, all the credible journalists have almost become a little bit bored of talking about it because it's so far down the line. There's talks about the likes of De Ligt, offers for Koulibaly going in. I think we'll touch more on that next week on the Terrace, but these are real deals they're looking at. Elsewhere, you've got the midfield situation. Declan Rice is, of course, an option for Chelsea that's been around a while, a player they are looking at, but very, very expensive indeed for them to go after and buy. Bissouma is a target, I believe, of Chelsea, but a lot of clubs are kind of and ahhing because of the pending court case. We'll see what happens surrounding that. Yuri Tillemans is another player that's on the radar, but Chelsea are kind of just keeping an eye on what's going on in that area. But a big focus for them, aside from the defenders, and a big priority for Chelsea, appears to be the attackers. Really does appear to be the attacking element of their team. Lukaku wants out, and they are trying to structure a deal right now with Inter Milan to get that done. The likes of Christian Pulisic and Timo Werner, depends upon the journalist you speak to. They all kind of vary, but their names are coming up, that there is an option for them to leave. But Chelsea are not going to allow Werner, Pulisic, Lukaku to all leave without any adequate lineups, replacements lined up. That's where you look at the situations with Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling. And we'll start with Raheem, but they're both very interesting deals. They're both very interesting deals indeed, because both are about to enter the final year of their contracts. At the Etihad, of course, both Manchester City players, with Jesus expected to leave the club and Sterling maybe set to hold talks over his future after the last England game. So that when you've got to look at Raheem Sterling, you've got to look at the fact that he is going to speak to Manchester City after the Nations League games. He is going to try and find out what his future looks like with the players City are linked to, the players have got coming in. How much game time is he going to get? Could he be better served elsewhere? What would they want financially as a transfer fee as he goes into the final year of his deal? But this could be something that Chelsea explore. Will they sign both these Manchester City forwards? Probably not. Could they? Maybe. Maybe they could. They're both better than everything else Chelsea have got right now. With all due respect, Raheem Sterling is better than any inside forward in the Premier League at Chelsea. I don't care about the skill. I don't care about the tech. When it comes to brass tacks, delivery, outputs, experience, Walks in, he's their best inside forward. For me, he will always be in the Premier League superior to that of Christian Pulisic. Overall, Pulisic might be a better dribbler, might have a better first touch. But if you can't put the ball in the back of the net or create the chances or in fact stay fit, what does that matter? I think that's one that really does have legs. And it's a deal that all summer, every journalist I've spoken to, keep your eye out for Raheem Sterling to Chelsea, Raheem Sterling to Chelsea. And I'll come back to why in a moment. Gabriel Jesus is another really interesting one. I'll tell you why Gabriel Jesus is interesting, because he's kind of in this position where Arsenal are the front runners. He will join Arsenal. We've got an Arsenal update coming later on the Terrace, so stay tuned for that. Arsenal are the front runners. Let's just not get that twisted. It's not BS. Arsenal are the front runners. Without a shadow of a doubt. Arsenal have been able to get the price from around 50 million down to the low 40s, 41, 42, 43. I've seen it quoted at various places in and around. Let's just say 42 to keep it in the middle. Arsenal were leading the race. But what Arsenal are doing right now is they're trying to push that price down further. Arsenal are leaving the door open, the door ajar. A number of ex-pros and pundits have had their say on this in the past few days. If Chelsea are available and Chelsea want you, why would you pick Arsenal over Chelsea? And I think it's a fair question. Of course, there is the element of relationships. He knows Mikel Arteta. There's a Brazilian connection with Edu. It's the club that have really shown the most interest. This deal to Chelsea is on. Chelsea have started to explore it. They've started to look at the player, but Chelsea are essentially monitoring what Arsenal are doing. They're keeping it as a spinning plate, as it were, while they look at other options. Raheem Sterling, of course, being one of them. They were looking at Christopher and Nkunku, who now appears to be staying at RB Leipzig for at least one more year, and he's going to sign a new deal. So that removes an attacking option. So Chelsea, I don't think, are overly sold on the idea right now of Gabriel Jesus. I think they think he's a good player. That's why they've inquired. Can we go elsewhere? Can we get better? Can we sign better before kind of putting our eggs into his basket? That kind of appears to be the case. But Arsenal have got to act quickly. Arsenal have got to act quickly, because if Chelsea decide on Monday morning, let's submit the bid, let's make Gabriel Jesus an offer. If they decide that they want to make Gabriel Jesus their main man, their main number 9 next year, maybe the idea is to have a kind of number 9 that can drift left, can drift right. You look to bring the likes of Raheem Sterling in, who do have eyes for goals, that can come in from those wide positions and score. You find yourself in a very interesting situation. Gabriel Jesus wants first-team football. Gabriel Jesus wants love. And what's really interesting, I'll bring it back to the point I made earlier about Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus. They're both available for good prices. Good prices you can get them for, because they're going into the last year of their contracts. You could probably do a deal with Man City where if you're buying both, if City actually want rid of both, and I know they're looking to get rid of Bernardo Silva as well, but City are going to do some business. They're going to buy a midfielder most likely. They've already got Alvarez and Haaland coming in, so they've got space to lose 2 people. They've got some really talented young players as well. They also want to nurture and give a bit more game time to. There is a space to move these players on. You could probably broker a deal. 75 million for the pair. Remove them from the wage bill. Frees up the squad space. That would be superb business. Just floating it out there as a fan. 75 million for Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus as a combined package. Do you know, if you went up to 80, 85, 90 million, it's still a good deal. And I think when you look at teams like Chelsea, teams like Arsenal, teams like Spurs, teams like Man United that are looking at 5 to 6 players this summer, deals like that will be imperative. Because those players, in my opinion, with 3 to 4 years left on their deals, are anywhere between 70 to 100 million plus players. And I put them in a fairly broad range. You're basically getting them at half their market value, if not more. Half their commercial and playing ability value because of 1 year left on the contract. It's less of a risk financially. You will get a better return on your investment. There'll be more, the cost to income ratio. Every goal Raheem Sterling scores, essentially, you're getting a cut price cost because he isn't going to cost you as much. As it stands right now, the Raheem Sterling deal hasn't been overly activated by Chelsea. They haven't had any direct contact as of now. Raheem Sterling, though, has informed these people that he is open to the idea. He has agreed for at least contact to take place to see what would be on hand. Interestingly, I keep hearing from journalists, watch out for Raheem Sterling to Chelsea. There does appear to be an admiration, a fondness at Chelsea Football Club for Raheem Sterling. So that is one that maybe could escalate quite quickly. And Gabriel Jesus, very clear. Arsenal Football Club are the favourites. Arsenal Football Club are leading the race. But the deal to Chelsea is on. It is an active deal where inquiries have been made. Chelsea are monitoring the situation. They have made no formal offer via intermediaries or not. I don't really care for the semantics to Gabriel Jesus as of yet. But Arteta is starting to get frustrated that Arsenal are not closing this deal down quicker. Why? Because he knows, like the rest of us in football, that as that price for the player drops, as his desire to leave City increases, others and other players are getting snapped up or told they're not leaving respective clubs, the market for strikers is ever so slightly shrinking. Haaland's gone. Alvarez is gone. Darwin Núñez is gone. Harry Kane's probably going to stay. Bayern Munich are going to be getting rid of Lewandowski, and Barca are getting him. The good quality goal scorers are shrinking, so people start looking at other options. It's going to be an interesting one to see how this develops. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. Hit that like and that share button. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. See you soon. Thank you.